All right, welcome back, kings and queens. We are here back, and I want to give you an update. We are going to dive deep into the mind of a psychopath as it relates to singer David, who spells his name D as in David, the number four, V as in Victor, the letter D. Okay. Recently, a body of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas was found in the front trunk of his Tesla across the street from his Hollywood Hills mansion. There's a couple of things I think that are important that we share today, that I share with you today for those of you that are tuned in regarding this update. There's a strong possibility, first things first, there's a strong possibility that the home is indeed a crime scene. Okay. That's the first thing I want you to notate. The second thing is Celeste more than likely knew her killer. The third thing is there is a heavy, heavy probability that David is either directly involved, responsible for the murder, or indirectly involved and knows exactly what happened, who did it, and what's going on. The fifth thing is there is a deep effort on the behalf of David and his team to get rid of evidence. Okay. Not only that, Texas deputies responded to a house that David owns here in Texas, not far from me. I had no idea that he lived that close to me, okay? Responded to a house connected to David amid discovering the body in his trunk. There were two alarms tripped to his property here in Houston, Texas. It's believed that someone who may have been acting on the behalf of David attempted to enter that property to remove evidence. We're going to talk about it. For those of you who are just tuned in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the palace. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television, but most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience.
Subscribe now.
New information in the investigation involving a teenage girl's body found in the trunk of a car owned by the Houston area singer known as David. NBC News is confirming LAPD homicide detectives searched the LA home near where that vehicle was found. KPRC2's Lisa Hernandez live in our newsroom with these latest developments. Lisa.
And Andy, LAPD has yet to call the young girl's death criminal and cannot confirm if the performer knew her personally. But as speculation mounts, so too do questions surrounding what exactly happened here. The singer, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, canceled his Seattle show last night, just hours after law enforcement released the identity of the teenage girl whose decomposed remains were found in the trunk of his abandoned Tesla at a Hollywood impound lot last week. She's identified as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, who went missing from her Southern California home in April 2024. Her death has yet to be called criminal, but the performer's already feeling some fallout. Singer Kali Uchis, who collaborated on the song Crashing with David, said she is working to pull that track from all digital streaming platforms in light of this new information. And while David has not been named a suspect, TMZ reports he sang about a girl named Celeste in a leaked track, and that the girl's mother says her daughter had a boyfriend named David. An autopsy is pending, and Los Angeles police tell NBC News that the LAPD does not have a crime classification from the coroner as to the mode or manner of death. Thus, we do not have any suspect information at this time. Now, the Harris County Sheriff's Office says they responded to David's Cypress home twice this week after false alarms were triggered at the home. They say at this time they have not been contacted by authorities in California. David is reportedly back in LA, where he's set to perform this weekend and is said to be cooperating with LAPD. Live in the newsroom, Lisa Hernandez, KPRC2 News.
All right. Listen, there is just so much going on in this case in real time, and I don't want to update you with every intricate detail, but as I begin to gather the most important facts of the case, I will come back and bring you up to speed. I mentioned that we're going to dive deep into the mind of a psychopath, okay? We're going to do that, but let me just give you a little bit of background information regarding David. I think it's important for you all to know that David lived in that Hollywood's home, that Hollywood Hills mansion with his manager, Josh Marshall. I don't think it's safe for any woman, let alone a little girl 11 to 13 years old, to be in a home with grown men, okay? With grown men. And one thing that I challenge you all to do, a call to action, is when you see, hear, or if you find yourself saying that Celeste was 15 years old and he dated her when she was 15, that's not true. Celeste did not live to see her 15th birthday. It is believed that David started engaging with Celeste as early as age 11, as early as age 11, with the possible consent from her parents. Okay? Now, there were times that Celeste did run away. And by run away, I mean stayed gone from home for an extended periods of time with David. It was during those times that her parents, her mom or whomever, would put out missing flyers for her, missing posters within the area. However, according to Celeste's brother, they were well aware that Celeste had an ongoing relationship with David.
Now, Celeste's brother right here says that the family was aware of this alleged relationship and that he claimed his sister vanished after going to see a movie with David in May of 2024 and never returned. He also said that David would frequently pick up his sister in that same Tesla Model Y in which her remains were later discovered. Now, just to get back to this alleged relationship between Celeste and David, she was 13 when she went missing. Apparently, she had had some home problems and it was complicated for her for quite some time. She had been running away back and forth for a while before she finally just ran away and left.
They were well aware that there was an age gap and an age difference. I just wanted to bring you up to speed on what's important. Knowing that this man, so if Celeste was actually indeed involved with David and is strongly believed that he had contact with her as early as as early as her being age 11, he was 17. He was 17. And I see some of you have gotten in the comments and you say, hey, listen, he was young himself. Yeah, that's a senior in high school hanging around a fifth grader. That's a no-go item. No matter how you slice it, dice it, or try to make sense of it, it's inappropriate. It's wrong. I would not approve of a high school senior dating my 11-year-old child. I do not care if he is also a teenager himself. Do you not know how big, how strong, how hefty teenage boys are at age 17 and when they are seniors in high school? So if you put this together and you do a visual, and I am intentionally trying to create a visual for you, right, of David. Now you compile that with his manager, and you have this 11, 12, 13-year-old girl throughout the time that she dated him, which we believe may have been a 2 to 3 year period, 2 to 3 years, right? In a home with grown men. In a home with grown men that God only know what has happened or what happened to her prior to her death, right? According to the missing persons flyer that was put out in April of 2024, she weighed approximately 120 pounds. According to the medical examiner, when she was found, she weighed 70 pounds. You do the math. Recently, David and his manager, Josh Marshall, broke the rent agreement after police raided the Hollywood Hills home. The owner of the apartment, who rented the unit to David, revealed that he was never aware that David used to stay in that apartment. And not only that, he said he has video surveillance that may be able to assist the officers in gaining as much information and evidence as possible. According to the owner of the apartment, he says that he had video surveillance set up that should have been recording who came in and out of those units. In and out of those units. This is a mysterious death of this girl. And I kind of like I know y'all are pushing for an arrest, but you got to be very meticulous and very thorough in situations like this. And I'm glad law enforcement is combing through every single detail so that when they aim, hopefully they won't miss. There has been so many unexpected twists, turns, new information coming to the forefront regarding this case. The cops have done a really good job of keeping this thing closed, airtight, and they have not released any official statement other than that they are following many leads. There is so much evidence that David was heavily involved with Celeste. He cannot deny that. Videos are resurfacing, tweets are resurfacing, streams are resurfacing, people are coming out to speak. My question to you is, for those of you that did realize that she was not of age, how come you didn't say something? Just out of curiosity. Is there a reason you did not call the police? I want to get back to this apartment. Mr. Trifonic, I can't pronounce his name. I'm going to say Mr. T. Trifonovic, Mr. Trifonovic, the owner of the apartment, which was rented to David. See, David didn't have the apartment in his name. The apartment was in his manager's name, Josh Marshall. The owner didn't even know David occupied the place. The lease was recently signed in 2024, February of 2024. And the following day, the manager contacted the owner and asked to terminate the lease. And right now, in real time, y'all, in real time, they have movers. David and his people have movers emptying out the mansion as police, I'm sorry, quickly try to comb for evidence. See, once he packs up all of his belongings and get the hell out of there, it's going to be really hard to get anything else. Fingerprints, what Celeste may have touched, what she may not have touched. They are cleaning that house out right now. And according to news outlets, movers were spotted. They were spotted clearing out the $4.1 million mansion rented by singer David after Celeste's body, her severely decomposed body, was found inside a Tesla. There is a huge probability that Celeste may have been dead between 4 to 8 weeks, several weeks. I know some of you say, well, he was on tour for a month. She probably was gone before then, and the tour was just in time. The Daily Mail was able to obtain photos that show large boxes that the police was, that the movers were carrying out. A week after the police raided that house, here they go, David and his team trying to get the hell out of Dodge. What are you running from? What are you trying to hide? And y'all, they said the movers were hauling large boxes out of there. Apparently, he pays $20,000 a month, and he broke that lease to get the hell up out of there. My question is he a flight risk? This is very suspicious behavior to me, okay? Very suspicious behavior. And David, if you think about the trickiness of it all, he's appearing to cooperate with law enforcement. It's the perfect play, the perfect strategy, because he could literally disappear. So although I'm happy that the Los Angeles Police Department is doing their job, you're going to have to keep a close eye on him to make sure that he doesn't get the hell out of Dodge. I don't think David did this himself. I think he had help. Sure that he, even if it was as simple as assisting in cleaning up a crime scene or moving out or creating an alibi or moving the car, something happened. And according to the independent news outlet, the home was being searched for blood evidence, which takes me back to point number one. The crime more than likely occurred in the home. According to a News Nation report, the police believe that there may be blood evidence in that home. But hell, if they're moving things out very quickly, you may miss some stuff. The home was about a block away from where David's Tesla was parked. I think this was either a fit of rage. This was something that happened in a moment where they didn't have a lot of time to plan. It's sloppy. They didn't do a good job. They didn't know what the hell to do with the car. And it's giving 20-year-old. That's what it's given. A 20-year-old that may have done this crime. And when you think about who's more likely to cut up a body Would it be a psychopath or a sociopath? I'm going to go towards psychopathic behaviors, which is why it's important for me to discuss with you the mind, the behavioral patterns of a psychopath. I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. And based on psychological traits, a psychopath is probably more likely to cut up a body. Both psychopaths and sociopaths, y'all, both of them are capable of committing crimes, right? Extreme crimes, extreme violence, cold, calculated, unemotional. Most of them are unemotional, detached. But the nature of a psychopath makes them more prone to engaging in gruesome, premeditated act. It could have been premeditated, hell. I may be wrong. I would hope not, but it very well may have been. You know what? I take that back. It could have been premeditated based on some of the lyrics in his songs, based on when he said, you're under the car, based on some of the reports from the neighbors and the residents in the neighborhood that stated that car was dented up. And typically vehicles like that look like that, are rarely seen in that neighborhood. Based on the text that David sent to Celeste, stated, I was just thinking, or I dreamed that I killed you and I ate you. And she said, oh my God, you're sick. What the hell? He sent that. We went over that text. Psychopaths are calculated and they exhibit predatory behavior. Just the nature of the relationship that David established with Celeste is predatory in nature. Predatory in nature. And you know what? I completely go back. I take my word back. Psychopaths are known for planning their crimes with meticulous detail to avoid detection. This very well may have been meditated. I take it back. He may have planned this out based on the lyrics in his song, based on the nature of his social media post, based on how he stated he felt about Celeste at such a young and tender age. According to David and the records that I showed on one video, he met her as early as 2021. That would have placed her at 11 years old. So an act such as dismemberment, that's typically done to cover up the real crime. It's a crime on top of a crime, okay? And it requires a high degree of premeditation and control. The only thing that leaves me confused is why would you leave her body in the trunk of a car and move the car around? That's the only thing that I can't figure out. The other character trait I want to point out as it relates to psychopaths, they lack empathy. Let me say it again. They lack empathy and they lack emotion. So as much as those around Celeste may have believed that David loved her, if you think about the rumors that are swirling that her family may have received money in exchange for hushing, the matching tattoo that both he and Celeste had. If it's true that her family received money to conceal the inappropriate relationship, and if her friends received money to conceal the inappropriate relationships, that's a lack of empathy and emotion. He never saw her as a person. He saw her as something to buy. He saw her as something to possess. And one of the most prominent features of psychopaths is they lack a conscience. They lack remorse. They lack empathy. He never saw it being wrong that he was engaged with an 11-year-old child. And because they are so emotionally detached, it allows them to view others, didn't I just say it? As objects. As objects. Psychopaths don't give a damn. They are completely unaffected by the horror of the act that they commit. So the fact that we are taken back, that her body was dismembered, he's on the road. He's scheduled to perform in Los Angeles this weekend. As long as he could have gotten away with performing without any negative or bad press, he would have went on like nothing was wrong. If David is indeed responsible for the dismemberment of her body, he performed it as a simple task, no different than running an errand. They do not feel, they do not think, they are not normal people like you and I, and those of you that are tuned in, okay? It didn't bother him one bit, which is why he takes to the songs. And he knows he's emotionally he has an emotional deficit, which is why he takes to the songs to carry out the dark side of him, the evil that lurks within. And then he has the audacity to sell blood-stained t-shirts to your children, and you let them go to his concerts. They're amongst us now. And if I could put it in ways of music, I can hide the true meaning and the true nature of how I think as a man. Go back and listen to the lyrics. I really believe that it was not spontaneous. I thought so at first because of the moving of the car, which is like a rookie move. So this may have been his first kill. I don't know. But he probably planned it and daydreamed about it for quite some time. Why her? Probably because her family gave her over so freely. He probably built up to it every time she would leave home and extend her stay a little bit longer and longer and longer. And unfortunately, the last time that she left in April, or the last time she was seen, on April 5th, 2024 at 9 p.m. And if you go back and look at the missing persons poster, it said last seen leaving the home at 9 p.m. During that time, she was 13 years old, but she was probably already 2 years in with David. According to her brother, she was supposed to go to the movies. Why in the hell, as a parent, would you grant permission for your 13-year-old who's supposed to be in bed, sleep, getting ready for school the next day to walk the hell out the door to go to a movie with a grown-ass man at 9 p.m. at night? I hope I've been saying psychopaths. I'm talking about psychopaths. So if I've been saying sociopaths, please forgive me. But psychopaths, they operate in control violence. And when a psychopath makes up their mind to commit a violent crime, it's often instrumental. It serves a clear purpose. There is a reason, a definite reason behind it. And I have a funny feeling and a sneaky suspicion the why is embedded in that music. So when a psychopath dismembers a body, it's to conceal evidence. Why would he chop her up like that? How did she really die? It's to conceal evidence, which aligns with the controlled nature of psychopathic violence. Okay? Now, psychopathy and sociopathy are not formal clinical diagnoses. They're not. Sometimes the terms are often used interchangeably to describe the traits of antisocial personality disorder. If you think about who David catered to, he catered to children, not people, not his peer group. His message, his target audience are children. I don't believe he had the social wherewithal to engage normally with his peer group or other adults. And if you think about the living situation of his manager living with him, who does that? How come he's not with his parents or living on his own at such a young age? Y'all, this is way deeper than we think. David has always been a problem. My question is, did his parents know it? Did his mom? Did his dad? What was he like as a child? I need to know. Why did Celeste's parents and her family, how come they didn't do more? You knew where she was. You knew she had a boyfriend named David. You said it. How come you called TMZ and not local law enforcement? I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions. What was going on in that home? Are there any trace of pathology in Celeste's home? What was she really running away from?